If this gets disallowed, I'm going to be fuming. I'm going to be absolutely fuming. How's it going, everybody? My name is Stu. Welcome to the Deportivo La Coruña save here on the channel on Football Manager 2024. Thank you for joining me in today's video, which is part 27. If you're not joined in with the save so far, do not worry. There'll be a playlist in the top corner for you to go and check out what has happened so far. So, game against Champions League teams today. We've got Monaco, and then we're going to skip Sporting Gijon. I would quite like to play that one, but we're going to skip that because we've got serious business with young boys. The reason why it's serious business is because we do kind of need to get some results out of these games because we are currently in the playoff area, but we're not guaranteed to go through yet. We're actually really in danger of missing out completely, so we need to get, by my money, at least one win. If we get one win, I feel a bit more comfortable, but really, I feel like we need to get two. But Monaco are in the same boat as us. Young boys shouldn't be a problem. They've lost every game from the looks of things, but we can't take anything for granted. But that's the state of play, and if you're excited to see whether we can make it through to the next stage of the Champions League in our first season in the competition, then don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. And don't forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so. You'll put a smile on this face. What's not to love? So since you were last with us, this is how things have been looking. There's been occasional friendly here and there. I think I've already told you about those, just to get a few players up to fitness, mainly Luka Jovic, who, I'll be honest with you, given up on Luka Jovic. We have got Youssoufa Moukoko over the line. He has scored in a couple of games for us as well. There's a goal there from him and a goal there from him as well. A couple of random results here and there. We did lose against Real Madrid in the Super Copa. That's out of the way. We did batter Malaga though. That was quite nice. So everything's going quite well at the moment. Squad-wise, we're struggling a little bit because the wage cap. I hate the wage cap in this country so much. So we can't have, let me just get it to league, maximum of £500,000 per week can be the squad salary. Obviously, if a player is under a certain age, I don't think we have to register them. It's fine. I think it's if they're under 19. But how many under 19-year-olds do you have in a squad normally? I mean, it is quite difficult. So it's proven to be a bit of a challenge. Now, we've got it kind of sorted, but we have actually made some transfers out of the club. So we have moved on. Danny Martin, he's actually gone out on loan. But I'm not that bothered about that. If it gets him some potential to move on permanently, that's absolutely fine by me. Clement Langlais actually left, which is a bit of a surprising one. He's been a first-team regular, more or less, for us, but Vandenberg has probably been a little bit more of a regular. But he's gone. He left for £6.75 million, possibly £8.5 million. Doumbia, left-back, left as well for £3 million, which was his release clause. Bearing in mind, I don't think we brought him in for that much. We brought him in. Was he on a free, or did we... Can I go off of this, please? It's okay, game. Thank you. We brought him in for absolutely nothing, so we made a profit on him, which is great. Langlais, I do believe we made a profit on as well. No, we made a huge loss on him. I mean, to be fair, we knew that we probably would because he was a bit on the older side. Zardash, you already knew, was leaving. So we have moved on a number of our players who we were looking to kind of maybe shift on. Maybe not right now, but we've done it anyway, and it's kind of a job that's done. And you can see the discrepancy in the money that's been spent. So with that money, we brought in a new left-back, Bojan Ilic, who's on less money a week than Doumbia was. The whole point was, can we upgrade without paying too much in wages? Ilic came in. He's an upgrade. He's potentially a 5-star player. He's not a wonder kid or anything like that, but he is potentially a 5-star player, and I'm very excited to see how he does for us. Very much on the offensive side, so we have to bear that in mind with him. I then made a bit of a dud signing, Loris Karius. He's showing up here as being a good rating, but he's very much not, and we have to bear in mind as well, not good in big matches. Do you remember what happened at Liverpool? But as an every now and then goalkeeper to cover a random cup game and the lower kind of echelon of the cup competitions, I think he'll be fine. He did okay in the first one, to be fair. He's played a couple of times for us. He's conceded a couple of goals, but he has kept a clean sheet as well and did okay in that match, so I'm not too worried about that. And we brought in Nicolo Casale from Brentford, 28 years old. He's not a long-term solution, but he is a decent defender now. He's come in, he's made a couple of sub-appearances, but I think once he's up to speed, he's consistent, he's good at this level, and he's also good at big matches. I think he'll be a solid player once he's up to speed. Add to that use for Moukoko signing, I think we're pretty good, but we are still a little bit light, so we are still trying to bring a couple of players in. The main one I've got at the moment is Sofiane Diop, although we are being rivaled. I can't remember who it's by, but we're being rivaled by someone. It's Monaco, ironically, who we're playing next, and they've actually formerly played for Monaco. The thing is, I think theirs is a permanent deal at the end of it. Ours, we've got an optional fee that we won't be taking up. We've got the money to do it. It's just this... It's just this wage cap that we've got, which is really annoying, but we're going to have to work with it and see what happens. Anyway, game time. Monaco, Champions League, kind of a must win. The next game definitely will be, but this one I feel like is as well. The 11 is De Gea in goal, Carrillo, Akoli, Vandenberg and Miranda in defence, Gomez, Velosa and Pereira da Costa in the midfield with Jota and Hlarjek supporting Moukoko up front. We have, let me just change that, got a couple of injuries. Furic is injured, Stoichkos is injured, and they're not playing obviously. We have fell out with Cruz. We're currently trying to get rid of him. Valencia offered in a pathetic amount. I'm trying to get them to reconsider the amount just so we can get a bit more spendies in to try and replace him properly. But yeah, that's kind of the state of play. That's the 11 we're going to go with. Let's just go with it and see what happens. Hopefully, what happens is we get 3 points and we don't have to worry quite as much about the Champions League. Because it's not the end of the world if we get knocked out. Remember, first season in it, have no right to be in it at all. But I would quite like us to do well and get to the proper knockout stages. I'd be really happy with that. But it is what it is. Now, I mean, Monaco have been an also-ran team in France for quite a while, but they have been one of the big also-ran teams. They've got players I recognise the names of. Nianzou, Salisu, I recognise them. Salisu, I think, is formerly of Southampton. Nianzou, I have actually looked at signing in this save. Didn't get anywhere. Golovin had a period where he was looking like a bit of a superstar in his life. Ben Seguir is a good young player. And then the forward line is actually a good pair of players as well. So we've got some players we need to kind of contend with here. But I think we've got enough with the team that we've got, even though we're not necessarily at full strength without Stoichkos and without Furic. I think we're still pretty good. Hlarjek's there, can't get the head on the end of it. It does fall to the cost of Miranda, who scored twice in his last game actually, into Hlarjek, and it's 1-0 to us. It might be offside. I don't think the flag went up. So we might get lucky with this. It might get given. Say lucky. Yeah, it's not luck at all. Skill, absolute skill. So the ball's headed out here. Da Costa gets it over to Miranda. Again, he's got 2 goals and an assist in his last game against Malaga in the Copa del Rey, which was great. Puts a little ball into Hlarjek, and Hlarjek, playing on the wing, gets a goal. He has pretty much been our backup striker since we decided to bin off Jovic. What I mean by bin off Jovic, I can't cancel his loan. So he's currently in the B team. I'm hoping that's enough for Villa to turn around and say, we'll just cancel the loan. I'm hoping they can do that. And I'm hoping I upset them enough that they do that. I just don't know whether it is something that will happen. And if they do it in the transfer window, it gives us a fair amount of spend. Well, it gives us spendies, but he's already out of the squad. So the wage cap thing, this is where it annoys me. We've got the money to spend. We're just not allowed to spend it. It's so annoying. So this is what's going to limit us in the quality of players that we can get, because we have this wage cap that we need to worry about. I don't know how it works completely in Spain, but I'm under the impression that the bigger teams don't necessarily have to worry about the wage cap quite as much. Vandenberg just decided to go for it there, which I'm for, but not when we need 3 points. I mean, we've been on top in the game, which is great, but this is still a team that is more than capable of stinging us if we're not careful. Right, Carrillo now, into Jota, back to Carrillo, into Veloso. Veloso plays the playmaker in the last match and got a hat-trick, so maybe I'm missing a trick not playing him as the playmaker today. Da Costa can play as a Mazzala as well, so maybe I'd give them a bit of a swap at some point and see how they do in each other's positions. But to be fair, Veloso is more of a playmaker more than anything. And he's good there in theory. I played him in a multitude of positions when I used him last year for Southampton. Mokoko's in, doesn't get his 3rd goal for the club. Mokoko's been not particularly great so far, but he's got a couple of goals and an assist to his name. So he's also not been bad. So I think there's a bit more to come from him when he gets a bit more settled in. Remember, we have got him for next season. So if he can score a handful of goals, play reasonably well, and start to grow, by the time he's with us next season, he'll be firing and he'll be great. That's what I'm hoping anyway. The difference with him, between him and Esposito, what a goal that is from Jota, by the way. The difference between him and Esposito is Esposito, when he joined us in La Liga 2, was too good for that level, like the rest of our squad was, but he was too good. When he got to, when we got to La Liga and we got him back, he was obviously at La Liga level, but he was better than just promoted La Liga level. He was like Europa League, Champions League striker level. Moukoko is probably in and around the Europa League level, maybe Europa Conference League level, so he's not going to be getting 25 goals a season with us, with how we are at the moment. I mean, for next season, if next season's the last season of the save, we need to make a big jump in the squad. We need to really get things moving. We need to start getting quality players in. The disappointment, Mokoko's in here actually. I'm just literally slating him and he goes and gets in there. Doesn't get the goal, but he does win a corner. Lovely pressing from him. Lovely work, lovely interception, and he wins us a corner. Right, Miranda to take is going to be in-swinging this. I do prefer an outswing. Sorry, he's out-swinging it. I do prefer an in-swinger, I should say. It doesn't lead to anything, which is fine. Long story short, Mokoko isn't going to be the player, but this is where we're going to struggle. Now, I have been trying to get Wonder Kids in, but the problem with the Wonder Kids is we're not getting them because the big clubs are getting them. And every time we go in for one, we don't have the money to pursue them because the Wonder Kids we're getting scouted are not the bargain Wonder Kids. And the couple that we've got that have looked like bargain Wonder Kids haven't worked out. So, I mean, not that they've been Wonder Kids necessarily, but they've been like on that level. Now, the left back that we've got in, the backup to Miranda, he isn't a Wonder Kid, but he's 5-star potential. He could very well be that level of player. He could be that bargain basement signing that ends up changing the game for us. I really hope he is, but we just don't know for a fact. Right, Carrillo heads it to Vandenberg. Vandenberg looking to clear it as far as Flojek can't get it there. We're struggling to get out of our half here, and I feel like there's a Monaco goal coming. Shot. De Gea doesn't really move for it, though. It ends up going wide, and we do stay with a 2-0 lead. Again, this win really just helps cement us in. I mean, looking at the table here, as things stands, we'd be in this section here. So I think this win really does settle us down. We can't get into the section above us. That I don't think is happening. I think we're kind of stuffed with that. We're just having to deal with what we're dealing with, and it's going to be a Champions League playoff, which is fine. I'm happy with that. The main thing today was getting through to that Champions League playoff, and losing this game and the next game would have really, really put us in a bad position. Right, here come Monaco again, looking to build from the back. We need to be pressing them a little bit more. We are starting to a little bit now. Ben Seguir looking to get something going. We intercept though. Akoli manages to do that really well into the foot of David De Gea, who launches it forward looking for João Veloso, who isn't a short man. What a lovely header that is onto Youssoufa Moukoko. I'd love to see a goal for Moukoko today. We don't. And it's going to be a goal kick. Time for some substitutions then. After that, Moukoko hasn't had a bad game, to be fair. He's looked dangerous. He's looked sharp. It's been a pleasure to see. I'm going to bring Luis Cruz on just to try and advertise him a little bit. We're going to take Flojek off and swap him and Jota around. I'm actually going to move Costa and Veloso around just to see what they look like in that configuration. And I'm going to bring on Casale for some more minutes. We're going to bring him on for Vandenberg. I think Casale does prefer to be on the right-hand side. He does. So we'll swap him and Akoli around. Akoli doesn't really mind which side he's on, to be fair, which is absolutely lovely. I am going to change him to a central defender on defend rather than the ball player. I'm not confident enough with the defender quality we've got to be playing out from the back. And I'm going to bring on Ilic as well. Let's give him a few minutes just to try and get more acclimatised to the team as well. We'll leave it at that for the time being. We've got a couple more substitutions left after, so we'll just see the rest of the game out a little bit more before we make those changes. Really happy with this performance. I'd like another goal, I'll be honest with you. With the amount of chances that we've had, it's a bit disappointing we've not been able to get at least a third. But I'm happy with... I thought we chipped it then. I'm happy with what we've done. I'm happy with how we've played. And this is a team that are like regulars in European competition. I think we should be quite proud of the fact that we've looked quite comfortable against them at home. It's not over yet. They could still get a goal, which puts us in a little bit of a sticky spot. But I'm really happy with how we played up until this point. It's the big game mentality. They've left the player wide open there, but we've managed to get away with it up until then. But Daka puts it wide. Again, their quality is going to be slightly higher than ours. But Daka and Balogun, they're a good strike partnership. But actually, I think Moukoko is probably not a million miles off. We'll let this corner play out first. Cruz whipping it in. Header across. Casale just can't quite keep it low enough. And it is going to be a goal kick. Right, final couple of changes. I'm going to take off Da Costa. I'm going to bring David on, one of the youngsters, actually. Let's get him a few minutes out there. And I'm going to take off... I want to take off Jota. I mean, the problem is that youngster really isn't in the best of conditions, so I can't really bring on Romero. I'm just thinking, what else could we do? Comas. We need to get more minutes into Comas. I keep saying that and I keep not doing it. Let's take off Gomez because Gomez really needs to have a bit more rotation. He's been ever present for us this season. We need to get more minutes into Comas just so he can start taking over a little bit. And I mean, it's only 10 minutes. I kind of wish I'd noticed that a little bit earlier, to be honest with you. I'd have brought him on around 60 minutes just to give him a good chunk of the game. We've not done that, though. Right. Ball over, Daka gets it down to Singo. Singo now looking to get the ball forward to Golovin. Into Balogun. There it is. I told you. They're capable of getting a goal. It might be offside though. Linesman's flag is up. Don't know whether you saw it. The linesman's flag was up. It's likely to be disallowed. But let's just double check that. And it has been disallowed. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, the lads doing their job with their lines and everything there. We know we're not going to keep them quiet for 90 minutes. Oh, God, there's like 2 of them, 3 of them offside there, which is very, very poor. Goodness me. Well, we've dominated them. There's not long left on the clock. There's enough time left for them to get 2 goals, but I think we've done the job here just about. We've got a couple of minutes of added time, and that is going to... Well, it's not going to be that. It's going to be a corner for them just to finish things off. Can we defend well enough to keep a clean sheet in the Champions League? It's cleared out by Veloso. Ben Seguir is going to get on the end of it to Golovin. Golovin looking to whip it in. Luismi Cruz. I thought he'd given away a penalty then at the last minute, but actually he makes a bit of a saving tackle. It is 2-0. Dominant. Very, very dominant. Better passing, better possession, better XG, better shots on target, more corners. No end. Well, one less foul. I'm very happy with that as a performance against a team like Monaco. We've been a little bit shaky with performances recently. We've not been perfect. That is one of the better performances I've seen from us in a little while. Obviously, take the 6-0 against Malaga out of the equation because, you know, that was a bit of an outlier. I'm really happy with that. Really happy with that performance. And there were some good performances there by some of our players. I hope that's going to be enough to get us through. Let's have a quick double check of the Champions League table. Let's see. So we're not confirmed as being in a playoff spot yet. So we are currently on 10 points. I mean, to my eye, Sporting can't catch us, but they haven't played 7 games. This is it. Not everyone's played at the same time. So when everyone's played 7 games, that's when it's going to be the check. So we might have qualified. It just depends on how the teams down here on 6 points have done. So we're on 10 points. So we can't get, as far as I can tell, we cannot get into the automatic qualifiers, but we can stay in the playoffs. Good, good. Right, I'm going to go play Sporting Gijon. We'll be back for Young Boys, and we'll see whether we do, in fact, get through to the playoffs. Fingers crossed, we can do it. And after a lovely little battering of Sporting Gijon, which very much put a smile on my face, Moukoko getting another goal there, and Jota getting a goal as well, which was lovely, we now find ourselves in a position of the game against Young Boys. So sit rep. This is how everything looks after everyone's played 7 games. We are the last team on the list that hasn't qualified yet. So on 10 points, we can technically still be caught by Monaco. So the fact that we won by 2-0 might really help us because it might come down to goal difference. If it comes on head-to-head, we'll be laughing because obviously our head-to-head record is really good against them. So the best thing for us to do is just to win this game against Young Boys, and hopefully we don't need to worry about anything else. So this is the 11 we're going to be using. It's De Gea in goal, Carrillo, Casale, Okoli and Miranda in defence, Gomez, Veloso and Pereira, Da Costa in the midfield with Jota and Hlajek supporting Moukoko up front. We do have Furic back. He is fit again. A couple of the youngsters are still on the bench because we still haven't had any loan players come in. We're still looking to try and get that sorted. On the subject of loan players, Sofiane Diop is not coming to us. He's ended up going back to Monaco. So we've missed out on him. I've put a couple of other loan offers out there for players. We've also got a permanent offer for Luismi Cruz accepted. 12.5 million up front with 4 million in instalments. That would be to Valencia. It's around about his release clause, which I think is £18 million. It hasn't been fully confirmed. He hasn't agreed a contract yet, but the move is there. We have accepted the offer. So we're getting very close towards the end of the transfer window, but we might have a little bit of spensies left to actually put something in motion, which would be quite interesting actually to see what we do with that, because that's the most money I think we've had in one go, £12 million. I'd be really intrigued to see what we can do. I'm also intrigued to see if we can actually get things going in this game, because we are definitely on top, but we are struggling a bit to get through. Right, Miranda, short corner to Da Costa whipping it in, looking for the header. Hlajek at the back post, can't quite get him to there. Yankto trying to get there, but Veloso beats him. Veloso now into Okoli in the middle. Okoli looking to get the ball forward to Miranda, back to Gomez. Gomez started today. I did start Comas in the last game. He did a decent job. I've started Casale as well. We just need to get their fitness up. We just need to get them playing a bit more football. So we're just slowly but surely doing that by getting them in some of these games. Right, Carrillo now. Ripping it in. Looking again. Back post for Hlajek. And Hlajek is there. He's our backup striker, sure. But when he's playing at that far post, it's just handy to have someone who's a little bit handy in the air. And while Jota has been really good recently and would normally be playing there, and Furic would play there as well, just Hlajek is another level of just being able to be there as an inside forward. It's such a handy player to have when you're whipping balls in. I've tried to stop us being a wing play team. We're not set up as wing play, but we tend to default to just being a wing play team. If we're going to do it, let's at least have a player who can do it. Right, another corner here. Miranda whipping it in, looking for Casale. Casale finds it a bit of a weird takedown for the central defender. We haven't really done anything with it here. Casale, Akoli. Da Costa goes for an absolute worldie. I'll have that all day long. And that might be the goal that fully confirms that we are going through to the playoffs in the Champions League. Miranda to Casale. Casale gets it to Akoli here. And Akoli just rolls it across to him. And I'm thinking this is going to hit a body. It doesn't. Flies straight through. Lovely goal for Da Costa. Doesn't score many, but when he does, I don't know. I can't actually remember how many goals he scored for us. I'm just happy he scored that one, though. Corner here to Young Boys. It's whipped through, and De Gea had to be careful there. De Gea had to be very, very careful. I will say, De Gea, there's been a news report saying he should be recalled to the Spanish national side. That's how well he has played for us. He has done a sensational job. Such an upgrade over Martin. I was really happy with Martin when he signed, and then the honeymoon period ended, and it was atrocious. But De Gea has, touch wood, been really, really good. It's just a shame that he's as old as he is, because we probably will start to see him decline next season if we haven't already seen him decline. I mean, his physicals are going down a bit. His attributes and his goalkeeping are actually slowly going up a little bit, so that's a good thing. But his physicals are going in the bin, as you would expect when he's 35 years old. So, Young Boys on the ball here, looking to get something out of this game. They are pretty much out, I think. I don't think they can do anything, so they'll just be playing for pride here. We're 2 goals up. We don't really want to let them back in, because if we let them back in, we potentially put ourselves at risk. Veloso intercepts beautifully there into Jota now. Jota looking through to Veloso. Lovely little pass there, and Joe Veloso gets another goal. He's been firing them in recently. Got that hat-trick, as mentioned before, against Malaga. Lovely work there. Him and Jota working well. We've got a bit of Portuguese contingent in the midfield. Veloso, Da Costa and Jota, all Portuguese, all working together. Is Jota Portuguese? I think I've made that up. Jota might be Spanish. I think Jota's Spanish. I think I've just misnationed him, I think, if that's the right word. No, he is Portuguese. I misnationed him twice. No, he is Portuguese. So we have got... Goodness me, Stu. Learn where your players are from. Oh, we've conceded a goal. That's so disappointing. But all of the hullabaloo of who plays where and what country and all that kind of stuff, we've ended up not noticing that Mbabu's throw... It's actually a really well worked throw in there. Over to there, back to the throw-in taker, just slid across the box. We got a bit confused and they've gone and scored. We can demand more from the boys because we shouldn't be conceding a sloppy goal like that. But I am happy with the performance overall. It has been nice to see. Casale, I'm just going to say I'm not happy with him. Let's see if he can step things up a bit. But I'm happy for just to go into the second half. We'll demand a bit more. Let's work a bit harder. Let's get a fourth. Just make sure we've got more than 2 goals of a cushion. And let's just see the game out. Young Boys, however, have started this half a little bit more on the front foot. But we look like we're getting back into it now. Right. Big goal kick. Looking for Yankto. But Miranda heads it onto Hlajek, who can't get there, though. So he's playing a bit of pinball in the air. Jota now to Casale. Casale over to Correa. It's an all-Italian centre-back partnership here with Casale and Akoli, by the way. Correa now running down the wing, whipping it in, looking for the header. Hlajek. And that is a bit of a cheat code, really. Correa to Hlajek has worked really well today, and it is 4-1. It's exactly what we wanted. Hlajek looking like the player we wanted him to look like. Correa, I tell you what, considering he was very much just a centre-back when we signed him, and we knew he could play as an emergency fullback, he's turned into our starting fullback. And he's looked really comfortable there. Normally, nothing like that in terms of attacking movement or anything like that. He's normally purely just there for defensive purposes. He's got 2 assists today. That's pretty good going. Tell you what, they ain't bad with their throw-ins, are they? They're trying a few things. But Makoko manages to get the ball and he's now running down the right wing. He has got some support with him. It looks like he's going to try and go it all on his own. And it is saved. What a goal that would have been had he put that in. What a run that was. But oh goodness me, I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted. Ball's whipped in, nothing happens. Well, that's the end of that then, isn't it? Miranda now looking to get the ball going, trying to keep the move going. Da Costa trying to get it through to Makoko. He just couldn't quite find it there. Makoko, he's done everything but score today. Veloso now into Da Costa, into Hlajek. Hlajek, he's on a hat-trick, remember. Through to Makoko. Doesn't care about the hat-trick because he's helped Yusuf Makoko score. If this gets disallowed, I'm going to be fuming. I'm going to be absolutely fuming. It's not been disallowed. I'm happy. I'm happy. 5-1. We're through to the playoffs in the Champions League. We're never going to get through to the proper knockout rounds with the points total we're on. But it's lovely work from Makoko and Hlajek as well. Really nice to see Hlajek working with Makoko there. Hlajek doesn't get his hat-trick at the moment, but he has got an assist to his name as well. 3 goal contributions today is sensational. Right, Comas is going to come on for Gomez. We're going to do that. We're going to bring on Sepp van der Merg for Akoli. We'll rest Akoli. He's been playing a lot of football recently. We're going to bring on Ilic as well, just for a bit more football. He's actually now the best left back we've got at the club. Stu knows how to sign them, both in a good way and a bad way. Stu knows how to sign them. Right, let's see the game out here. This is going to finish us in and around 14th. I mean, it's fine. We're not going to be down at the dregs of the table, which is the main thing. We're not going to be leaving the competition at this point. This is going to be us going through. Right, Carrillo now into Comas. Again, good central defensive option, good centre-back option. It's the reason why we've only got him and not one or the other, because he can do both relatively well. Ilic now. Not the best defensively, so I'm a bit nervous to see him in that area. Nice to see him get a bit further forward, but it's fine at the moment. Casale now into Carrillo. Building from the back here. Carrillo now, who's got 2 assists to his name already today. Gets it into the Costa, who's run the show in the middle. Not the best rating, 7.7, but it's a good one. And Hlajek gets his hat-trick. But he might get disallowed for offside. The flag's still not up. Usually that means it's not going to get disallowed. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Referee's checking it, and it has been given. It is a hat-trick for Adam Hlajek, which is good to see. Carrillo gets it into the middle. Da Costa quietly been running the show here today. Lovely ball through to him, and it is 6. We've dominated them today. It's a lovely thing to see. It really is. I'll let it go to 80 minutes and we'll make the final couple of changes, but we've really done the job well today. Just the blemish is conceding that goal, but it's not the end of the world that we have done that. I just would have loved the clean sheet in Europe. Right, let's try and get a 7th, shall we? Because I'm having a lot of fun. Right, Mbabu running down for them. I mean, Hlajek just steals his lunch money. Goodness me. Just, I'll have that, son. Thank you very much. Hlajek into Makoko. Hlajek having a lovely time here. Makoko has been forced wide here. He's going to turn provider for someone. Gets to Hlajek into the Costa. Hits the crossbar. Lovely work from us there. Absolutely lovely. I'm going to make the substitutions now, actually. I'm going to actually take off Hlajek because he's been great. Furic can come back on to get a few minutes under him. I'm going to swap him and Jota around, actually. And then for my final trick, I think we'll take off Carrillo. And we'll bring Trilly on because Trilly's been complaining about not playing. So we'll give him a few minutes just to see the game out. That feels like the most sensible thing to do. Really good, really solid performance. Again, puts us in about the middle of the table. Monaco, I haven't actually played yet, so I don't know what will happen with them. But we're going to be more than enough, with more than enough of a gap to kind of see out the tournament and get through to the playoffs. It's just going to be interesting to see who we get in the playoffs and who we end up facing to try and get through to the Champions League knockout stages proper. Right, Ilic now into Jota. I'm going to go between Ilic and Ilic as well, by the way, just to pre-warn you. Da Costa goes back to Comas. Comas doing a good job of sweeping up as a half-back into Veloso. Veloso's had a great game as well today, by the way. Absolutely superb. Running forward here. He's gone for a world. He's hit the top of the net. I don't blame him for going for it. It's 6-1. You might as well. But that is going to be time, and that is us through to the next round. Well, through to the playoffs before the next round, but I'll take that all day long. Considering the teams we've had to play, considering the Manchester Cities, the Juventuses, the Inters that we've had to play, I will take that. I will absolutely take that. And to do it with 6 goals, fantastic. Hlajek apparently is wanted by the club for a permanent deal. After a performance like that, sure. If I had the money, that'd be great. That'd be absolutely great. Right, well that is the transfer window episode kind of done. We're hoping to get some deals done. We've now got some offers in. We're trying to get these 2 indefinitely. We're also trying to get Darvic from Barcelona, but it just wasn't going to work. They want him to play as an attacking midfielder. Barcelona are not aware, apparently, we don't play with an attacking midfielder anymore. So Firmino is the one I'm trying to get in. We're struggling with the money. He would be a good option because he can cover all of the wing options and centre mid as a Mazzala and a playmaker. He's such a good option to have. But then we get the potential money in for Luis Cruz. And if we get that money in and he does leave, that opens up a few doors for us. Now, I don't actually know what his wage is. It's £15,000. That gives us a bit more wiggle room in the wage cap situation as well when he goes. So, at the moment, let's have a quick look. Registration. We've currently got £53,000 a week to play with. If Cruz is no longer in, that gives us like 68. So that gives us maybe 3 players worth at reasonable wages, or 2 cheap players and 1 more expensive option. So we've got options. We just need to hope this deal just gets over the line. £16.5 million. Again, just to remind you, the release clause was actually, to be fair, it's 32 million. I didn't realise it was that much, but he was a lot better than he has been this season. He actually hasn't been that good at. Well, actually, to be fair, he's not been that bad, but he has gone off a bit of a cliff because he was throwing a wobbly about the fact he wasn't playing in the position he wanted to. Either way, we didn't pay anything for him. I'm quite happy to let him go for whatever we can get to try and improve the team. Anyway, that's enough of that. I will see you in the next video, which is going to be, I don't know when. We've got the Copa del Rey 4th round against Tenerife. I'm going to skip that. We'll probably come back around here. Maybe we'll come back for Real Madrid and Valencia because, you know, why not make life difficult for ourselves? But we'll probably tie it in with whatever the Champions League playoff spot is, and maybe Copa del Rey. But we'll try and aim for here, and we'll see what comes of the madness that is the playoffs in the Champions League. First time I've actually done it. Normally, when I play with a team, we get straight through, even if we just squeak through. But this time, we're going to be doing the playoffs, and fingers crossed we get a favourable draw. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed, don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. And also, don't forget to subscribe. Costs you nothing. Makes me happy. Why not just do it? Because you're nice. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.